practice number 2 down. Didn't think we took great steps today. In fact, I thought we were a little bit soft at times. So got some good in, but it wasn't the step that we probably needed to take. So got to get better tomorrow.
So, Rich, with camp opening, what is it that you talked about some yesterday in terms of evaluation, but how do you evaluate till you put pads on?
Oh, it's pads obviously when you're tackling and blocking, and you got to have that for your final determination. But there's still a lot you can do in shorts, from assignment standpoint, from a technique standpoint. Running full speed. It should be easier to run full speed in shorts, right? That was the part that probably got me a little bit riled up at times, is that we're in shorts and it's nice weather. This is, if you think this is hot and humid, you haven't lived anywhere else, So I addressed it with the team. And there's not a whole lot of experience in that group, so I'm not expecting like a handful of guys to like grab a hold of it and be leadership. And, that's our job as coaches. I really believe that during practice, the leadership falls on the staff, on our coaches. And so we got to make sure we're pushing them to the point where they learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. They're not there yet.
Do they have the base knowledge you want of assignment, formation?
I think the summer helped a little bit, but there's quite a few new guys. I think from a schematic standpoint, I thought they've done a good job of grasping that. And so that wasn't I'd have to wait till I watch the film here to see how many mental mistakes. Like yesterday wasn't any, but it was really simple offensively. I mean, we just only ran a couple of plays, so I didn't think that was as bad. But being honest, I have to watch the film here in the next couple hours before I know for sure.
Does the tempo kind of sort out some of those questions you have in terms of conditioning, toughness, softness? I mean, that's the byproduct.
It probably exposes, if that's the right word, it probably exposes it sooner. Like we talk about, all the time, for years, comfortable being uncomfortable, and we have to learn to live that. It's not like you ever get truly comfortable, like, going really hard all the time at a fast tempo. I mean, you're going to get tired and, and all that. But you would hope the other team does too. But that's the world we got to live in. And if I probably look back every year we start, I probably have the same lecture the first few days of practice, because no matter what you do in the summer, it doesn't really prepare you for the way our practices run. But today, the disappointing about that, yesterday I thought that's pretty good. And then today I thought, we'll take another step, because, we'll just build on yesterday, because that's what I wanted the team to do. And I don't think that was the case.
When you say that you didn't take the step today, that part of the times the team was soft, was that more on the offense, more on the defense, more on any team, overall collective?
Team, yeah.
Okay.
If you want an individual guy, you'll never get it.
Well, I didn't ask individual.
No, I know, but I'm just give you a heads up time. You'll never hear me say that about an individual, but as a group. But I do think the encouraging part is I think our guys are really conscientious. I think they're the guys that you say something, they'll try to take it to heart. So I'm not disappointed, not discouraged. Is that right? Maybe. Good way to phrase it. Yes, disappointed that we didn't like build on yesterday's, but not discouraged that it can't happen. So we'll be all right.
Is it at all harder to find out who your leader of the team is, who can galvanize a team when you're in a day like this, when you're in so many position battles and no one's really distinguished besides Shaheem, I guess?
Yeah. What? He's in a battle too. Wow. Did you give him a spot? Something I didn't know about? No, I'm just saying we. No. But again, I'm not. Again, it's not. You want quarterbacks to be the leader, or Mike linebackers. That's when we're practicing. That's on the coaches. So I thought if I'm the head coach, I failed today to do to have our best practice, and so did the rest of the staff. But the leadership part of that's during games, locker room, the coaches aren't around. Obviously, you want great leadership. Practice, I'm not expecting that, not asking for it. That's our job. Now, if you go by example, like you see, and we have a lot of them. I'm not saying it's the whole team. I mean, we have a lot of guys that go hard all the time. And the guys that have done it the last 2 days, the guys did it today, they register in your mind and say, that guy's he's got that edge, or whatever you want to call it. He's there. And so that is a good example. And I use that. I will use that example. Say, hey, I think we had 2 running backs that finished workouts today. And I told those 2, that's pretty good. We'll get those 2. But, and I ain't going to tell you who they are, but, there's still 4,000 kids in the portal, isn't there? I got a recruiting staff. I mean, I got a big old recruiting staff. They do a really nice job. They're still looking. We're still looking. We ain't got a game. We ain't got school don't start for a couple of weeks. I have a spot or 2 open. I'm just saying.
Going through the evaluation process that you talked about yesterday in the small groups, one-on-ones and all that, is it the same drills every day, or do you have things that, hey, this is what we do on day 1, day 2?
Yeah, yes and no. There's a lot of things you want to get in a routine, but you don't want to get in a rut. You know what I mean? There's a difference. A routine is good. That there's certain drills that you want to do every day because that's relevant to what you're going to do all the time. What plays and stuff you're going to call. But you don't want to get in rut, not be able to practice other stuff you got to do. Now, we're not even close to getting, our game plan, so to speak, and, these are the particular plays. So we're just basically installing plays offensively that we know we're going to carry every week and doing drills that no matter what the play is, those are drills that we got to do every day. But we've also added, we have 5 days basically of install of offense. And this was day 2, and it's already planned out what we're going to do for day 3 install, 4 and 5, and that's really a little bit ambitious, but I'll do 1 through 5, and I'll go back again and do 1 through 5 again. So that's kind of our plan on offense.
Is there anything that you look for, or any signs that players might show you during that first few days, first couple weeks of camp, that shows you that they might be ready to take that step, either as a team leader or as a standout player?
Again, I'm not to be I don't know what the word is, redundant, but I'm not looking worried about a team leader. Just do your job as well as you can do it, and maybe you can be a team example guy. Like, hey, look at that guy. He'll never take a play off. He goes hard all the time. And then maybe you could call that's leadership, I guess, in a certain way too. So that's not leadership. But I don't need that. I don't need that guy to be rah whatever. That's for our style. But part of it is it's new to our guys, and so when it's new, you're a little anxious about knowing exactly what to do, how practice goes. But this was the same practice as yesterday. See, that's why I get a little bit more. When you have different stuff in practice, like tomorrow will be a little bit different stuff, and you have something new, a drill, whatever you're doing, that's going to go probably a little bit slower or what have you. But when you do the exact same practice pretty much as you did the day before, less than 24 hours, you don't have to be anxious about knowing what to do. This is how the drill is going to run. So it should be faster and more efficient. And when it's not, then it tells me mentally we're not taking the step that we can take. And if I see that, I say something. I'm not one that's, everybody's got to coach their personality. Not everybody's going to be loud like me. But if I see it, I say it. And if I don't see it, but I see it later, I'll say it later. That's what our coaching is, and we got to correct it. So if we correct the mistakes tomorrow that we made today, then we've made a step. And that's kind of the goal that I have.
Rich, how do you coach right here? How do you coach toughness if you can coach it? And are players nowadays softer than when you first started? Do you see any difference?
Oh, I think I probably would agree with that generally overall. But there's a lot of guys that have plenty of mental toughness and hard edge, whatever you want to call it. I think generally, again, I'm giving an opinion. I'm not going on a political rant or nothing like that, but I think generally we're softer as a society. We're softer as athletes. But I don't really necessarily blame anybody, because everything they're going around is like, how do we make it easier for them? Everyone can make it easy instead of making things harder for them, so they learn how to, to go through hard times. So that's what hard edge is. Hard edge, it's not a magical word you're going to wake up and have it. You're going to have, and there's not one of you guys sitting in here, whatever, has not had some adversity or will have some adversity in your life. And so hopefully you have the mental hard edge, toughness to get through it, which you do, or have people around you do that. I think that's part of my responsibility to teach our guys this, and they got a long, successful life ahead of them. But not all is going to be strawberries and sunshine and roses and flowers. I told them, my dad was a coal miner. He worked in a coal mine. Had 1 week off a year, I think. Work all day in the coal mines, and you come home, you got stuff all over you, and then go work in the garden for 4 hours. And as I got older as a kid, I was a little kid, we worked in the garden a little bit. And then the older I got, the more garden we did. And the bigger the garden got. The older I got, the bigger the garden. I hated pulling weeds. I mean, I'd rather do anything than pull weeds. You ever pull weeds in a garden around the beans? It's miserable, absolutely miserable. I mean, I would play every sport. I don't care. I mean, we didn't even have lacrosse, so I'd lie and say, hey, I'm going to go play lacrosse or something, just so I could have. But I played every sport, so it wasn't to get out of the garden, but that was a side benefit, you know what I'm saying? But, so, I mean, the people in this state, how they work, I mean, you've seen people, whether coal miners or, anybody. I mean, it's not always easy. Our guys got it pretty good. You know what I mean? I mean, y'all been through this building? Have you seen how we eat? You seen all the services we have? They got it pretty good. They live in a fantasy world. I don't mind telling you, do that. We live, coaches too, because we get these benefits. We live in a fantasy world. We want for nothing. You want food, you want medical help, you want, job help, you want financial help. I mean, we got cold tubs, hot tubs. I mean, we even got an ice cream machine. We just got it yesterday. Maybe 2 days before we get it all cranked up. Well, damn, this stuff, I mean, it's top level stuff, man. An ice cream machine, free. And probably even have the sprinkles to put on it. I mean, golly. So they got it pretty good. And now they're getting paid, a lot of them. So
How do you get your guys to pull weeds?
Huh?
How do you get them to pull weeds?
You throw them out in the garden, don't let them leave till they pull it. You know what I mean? That's it. Or you can't eat any of the beans. That's it. You guys ask, you all think I'm making up stories. When my mom, when you ever visit my mom, ask her, what did Rich hate to do? I bet you top of the list. He hated pulling weeds. I did. But he had to do it. If you wanted to eat the beans. I don't even like beans. I like them raw. Miss Rita likes them cooked. But I don't like green. And that's maybe why I don't like it. Because every time I eat a bean, like in weeds. No. But go ahead. How we get off track there? What the hell did you ask that? What do you guys? No, it's all right.
You talked a little bit about not being quite as satisfied with today's practice as the previous one. You talk a little bit about player toughness. What are your strategies and approaches during fall camp when you notice you're taking a step back or players aren't quite where they need to be in terms of toughness or mental preparation?
Well, the next time we have the same practice as today, did we do it better? I know the next couple of days wouldn't be in shells, so it won't be in shorts, but do we take the step tomorrow? And again, to our guys' defense, I think they want to be good. I really do. So I'm not down on them. I just always have to remind ourselves, and I'll remind the staff when we have a staff meeting here in a little bit, that it's natural to gravitate to average or below average in everything, in softness, in your work, that's society. Just everything goes down to the middle, go down to average. You got to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, to be above average. To be above average just takes a little bit more. It does. You got to work a little harder. You got to be a little tougher mentally. You got to want a little bit more. I don't think our guys don't have that goal, but I don't know if a lot of have never been asked to get to that. It's almost like sometimes it's like, oh, what do we do to make it so better for you? You know what I mean? Maybe it's not always the best to make it easy for someone. Maybe making it harder for them gives them a greater sense of appreciation when something good is rewarded at the end. Like I told them, like, dancing on TikTok, hey, that's not this at us. But we win a game, and they want to dance in the locker room after a win, I'm right there with them. Well, it'd be ugly to look at, but but that's a reward for it, for the hard work and stuff you put in.
When days like this happens, does it affect your timeline on evaluating the team because you have to kind of get bogged down and worry?
You're all into the evaluation stuff. I shouldn't even mention that yesterday. You're wanting to define an evaluation. It's like, you know what an evaluation is? That guy's good enough to win with. That's it. What does that mean? Plays hard, knows what the hell he's doing, and talented enough to get her done. Get enough to win. That's it. Let's make it complicated. Day like today, if you were tapping out today or you was loafing today, you're not good enough to win with. That's easy to evaluate. You know what I'm saying? Not rocket science.
Bricks, the running backs making it through practice. I'm just curious what you meant by that. Was like an extra workout after practice? Did everybody just not?
Did they get an extra workout after practice?
You said two running backs made it.
Punish myself and the coach?
No. I'm just curious what you meant by you only had two running backs make it through the workout.
Yeah, without tapping out.
No breaks.
No, they get breaks during practice. I'm not talking. Like, if we had no trainers, no medical trainers, we'd probably have zero injuries because they had nobody to go to. We got 30 of them. So they're like, oh, where's the trainer at? And I got a great training staff. But no, I just say that. What running backs finished the entire practice without tapping out somewhere, or two. Now, I could play a game without running backs. I can run the quarterback or slot receiver, but I don't want to. I've always had really good running backs. I got good running backs here. I got a good group. But we finished with two. So, do you think I'm not going to talk to my recruiting staff this afternoon? We're running a business. But it helps to have some running backs.
Tell the truth. After the second day of practice, isn't this how you always feel?
I think I've probably even mentioned that to Raquel. And I think Miss Rita said the same thing. You're always like this the second day of practice. Probably am. But I tried not to be. In fact, when I woke up this morning, I'm like, boy, we had a pretty good day yesterday. I'm going to have another good day today, and I'm not even going to have to yell. It's just going to be, I'm going to get a popsicle at break and then another popsicle afterwards, and, every happy dip. No.
But if it all went well, it'd be fool's gold anyway, right?
No, hell no. You'd have an experienced team ready to go right now, and I'd just taper her down getting ready to camp. But, I got hired to coach. We got hired to coach. We got hired to take these guys where they can't take themselves. You see what I'm saying? There's where the difference is. Me, I don't ever give up on it. I ain't give up on no kid. I ain't give up on no coach. I was hired to take this staff, these players, and this program where they can't take itself. That's why I get paid good money. And I ain't feeling sorry for myself. I'm remind myself that's my job. My job is to do that, and I will do my job.
In these last 2 days of practice, in regards to the tight end group, what have you seen there? Things you've liked, things you haven't liked?
Fairly athletic. And we do a lot more with our tight ends than traditionally. Our guys are in line, they're split out. So we're a lot of 11 personnel. A majority of the game. So, our tight ends, it's become a position really in the last 7, 8, 10 years on our offense that kind of guys that did a little bit of everything. So we got a lot of new guys. We got a pretty good group there.